Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Alhamdulillah. So, a young brother just reached out to me, and he asked me, should he wear thobes, izars, things of that nature, right? So, I'm going to address the brother question, and I want to make a couple of points. Me, and I don't want to offend anybody, because ultimately it's your choice, right? And I'm going to say this. Me, personally, I knew the type of Muslim that I was before I started wearing thobes. And when I first put a thobe on and a kameez, I know how it changed me. I know how it changed me. It's kind of like the same way you see a soldier in the army. And when they first put that uniform on, they conduct themselves like a member of the military in public. I'm representing the United States Army. You know, when you see somebody that's like a police officer, and you see them in a grocery store, or you see them at a restaurant or a gas station, they conduct themselves like they're a police officer. Now, if you see them without that uniform, you might see an entirely different characteristic that's in them. When I first started to put them thobes on, and I went out in public, it was a constant reminder for me to conduct myself like a Muslim. You understand? It was a constant reminder to me to conduct myself like a Muslim. That's what it did for me. Now, I'm going to say this. For the individuals that I know that wear thobes a lot, as opposed to the Muslims that don't wear thobes at all, the sisters that I know that cover, see, a lot of sisters think that when they hear the word hijab, they think of the part that just covered their head, the neck. That's hijab to them. But when you talk to the sisters that understand khimars, abayas, overgarments, the ones who dress in a khimar, abayas, and overgarments, where they could dress however they want, but then they throw that overgarment on it. They might have some tight jeans and different things on, keeping it Dougie. Some high heels, and might have a skirt that come past their knees, but they got that overgarment over it. You understand? And then when they in a place with their family or they come home, they take that overgarment out, and then those little so-called cute clothes, they go to chill with the Muslim sisters, they take that overgarment off, they got them they little cute clothes on, but they wear overgarments and cover that up. What I'm saying is, the sisters who understand what a khimar and a abaya and overgarments are, because I'm saying overgarment because everybody don't understand the Arabic terminology of abayas and things like that, right? So the sisters I know that wear proper overgarments and khimars, their Islam be better than the sisters that don't. The sisters who might get an overgarment, but it's still firm fitting, where you can see their abs and it's snug. They don't understand the concept of how big an overgarment is supposed to be, because they're looking at it as more of, this is Islamic clothing. Just like individuals look at this as, whether they want to call it Arab, this is Islamic clothing. No, this has a job to do, and that's to cover your aura. This is a form of modesty. So just imagine me having this and it's skin tight, where you can see my abs, and I ain't even got enough room to pull this much off of there because I want my muscles to show. No, because you can have this on and it could be impermissible. Okay? So the ones who just look at it as Islamic clothing, as the ones who understand the legislation of these clothing for the male and the female, their Islam be better. All the people that I can sit down and study with seriously and have deep, in-depth conversations about Islam, that's not from no particular opinion, that's not from this group, not from that group, that's strictly Quran with tafsir, hadith, that's authentic, from high levels of fiqh, they all represent Islam in this way, shape, or form. Now, when I go to work, because I work in a factory and there's machines and different things, we can't wear big, baggy, extremely baggy clothes. So I can't wear a thobe and a kameez in there. But like all my shirts, I can wear my kufi, even though I have on a hard hat. So I can wear my kufis, and like all my shirts have either somebody make a salat on them, it might say salat, Muslimatic, Hadith Disciple, Al-Athari Institute. It's something that tied me to the deen, right? So I'm still representing Islam that way, and with me knowing that, I conduct myself like a Muslim. So my point is, it's like the ones who do it and understand why they're doing it and understand the legislation of it, right? Their deen be better. Wallahi, that's from my understanding. Now, I'm going to say this. Some of these Muslims that I know that don't wear thobes and things like that, I'm glad they don't. And I understand why they don't, because first and foremost, they don't understand the legislation of it. Because they don't understand Sharia law. They don't understand hadiths. They don't know where it came from. See, because it's been put in their head by, unfortunately, some individuals who really didn't understand Islam but used Islamic terminology and taught what they wanted to teach. They don't know the legislations. I'm going to say this. A lot of people don't understand that Islam shaped the Arab culture. Arab culture didn't shape Islam. So a lot of this stuff that people refer to as Arab culture, the Arabs wasn't dressing like this before Islam. You understand? They wasn't dressing like this. This wasn't something that they put on before the deen. Okay? If you look at some of the stuff, because they was extremely poor. If you look at the hadiths, it showed the type of stuff that they wore. And then when they got money, they started the hadiths about praying in one garment. Right? And there's also legislation to cover your aura. Okay? When you look at the hadiths on praying in one garment, the birth of the thobes, these is one garment. Okay? The things about the izars. Now, some people did wear waist wraps, right? Which a lot of them refer to them coming from Yemen, the Yemeni wraps. But the Rasul said, we're going to wear ours over our pants, something up under them, to distinguish us from them. So my point is, all I'm saying is, when you understand the legislations and you understand that you wearing it for a legislative purpose more than just this Muslim clothes. The ones I know who understand the legislation, their Islam be better. And like, to continue my point, I'm glad some of them don't, because every time I see them in public, they either acting a fool or they chilling, but they outside smoking and drinking, hanging with the Najis. They on a dope spot. You know what I'm saying? They out there with the gang members. You know what I'm saying? They out there having a whole bunch of conversations about things that they shouldn't talk about. So I'm actually glad some of them don't. And that's why, like, for me, I don't even try to encourage it. One second. I don't even try to encourage it. I don't even have conversations with them about it, because this deen and the way it's represented is important to me. You know what I'm saying? When the people in our city look at you as a fake Muslim anyway, I would rather them look at you as a fake Muslim the way you look and act exactly like them, than for you to throw this on and had the reputation as being a fake, corrupt Muslim. Because now you actually making Islam look bad. When you walking around looking the way that you looking, you making yourself look bad. Because the people who don't know you, they don't know that they don't know you Muslim. The people who know you, you just a fake Muslim to them. You phony, you raggedy. But if you wearing this around and then people hear them and they point you out, now you making Islam look bad. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't even encourage it. They don't represent Islam the way it's supposed to be represented anyway. But so the point as for the brother who asking me, I'm gonna say this. Definitely, yes, you should. And you need to understand the rulings about isbal, with your pants going below your ankles, even with you praying in them, and understand the scholars of the four madhabs, they all agree that it shouldn't be done. They just disagree on the punishments for it. So when people say there's a difference of opinion, and then they try to tell you this and that, what they're not telling you is the difference of opinion is in the punishments. Because some say it doesn't invalidate your prayer. So if you praying with your pants below your ankle, it doesn't invalidate your prayer, right? But it doesn't change the fact that you still in the hellfire. And because some people can't understand, like, well, how's it in the hellfire? It ain't a physical thing. One, you being disobedient to Allah Azza wa Jal. And this is the characteristics of the people of the hellfire, is being disobedient. Right? You're not paying attention to what Allah, the messenger and prophet that he sent to us, you totally neglecting what he gave us. You understand? So now you're not obeying Allah or his messenger, right? And then people want to come up with different little things. Oh, well, it's out of arrogance, this and that, because they trying to use the English version of what they think arrogance mean. You know what I'm saying? Although in the hadith it says that word that they use as arrogance, the arrogance is your unwillingness to do it. That's what it means. The ones who do it with I'm not even going to try to adhere to it. That's why when they look at the hadiths of Abu Bakr, where he was a person who was trying to do it, but he was so thin, the bottom of his izar used to hang down on one side below his ankle, but he was trying. So his pants his izar would just keep coming down, but he was trying to do it. So therefore he wasn't considered to be arrogant. because he was trying to do it. It wasn't a total refusal of, I ain't doing that. That looks silly. How that's going to put me in a hellfire. That don't make no sense. I don't like how I look. It look weird. It look like I'm flooding. Some of the things that people say here, that people going to laugh at me in America when I go places. That's arrogance, my boy. So learn the real legislations on that, and at least keep yourself out of the hellfire. So like I say, even when you pray, it doesn't negate the fact that you standing in the hellfire. It doesn't. It doesn't. You know what I'm saying? So like some of the scholars, some of the what they say, no, it doesn't invalidate your salat, but you definitely being sinful. Especially if you go to the point where you roll up your pants and make these big huge cups and they still dragging on the ground. Make sure they're above your ankles. It's not saying just roll up your pants. Roll them up where they're above your ankles. But see, some people don't know it. They just see other people rolling up their pants and it's not above their ankles, so they follow behind it. So at least learn that. And if you can't work in one, put your thobe on, man, and watch how you start to conduct yourself. And any of these individuals who want to sit up and tell you that's Arab stuff and all these other things and woo wop the woo, but they'll take their shoes off before they come in the house. Why ain't that Arab culture? I don't walk in my house, I don't enter my house with no shoes on. Oh man, that's why y'all don't say that's just Arab stuff. You see what I'm saying? Why y'all don't consider that Arab stuff? The type of clothes and things that's legislated for us is just as legislated as making wudu. You understand? This is your uniform. This is distinguish you from the kuffar. You understand? You have brothers. Like, it'd be crazy to me where you have brothers who talk about that's Arab stuff and that ain't our culture, but they expect their wives to cover. Why she not an Arab? Why she not a Blackistani? And all these weird things that they don't realize that they making a mockery of things that's legislated from the deen. Anybody who understand the Arabic, when they read the Quran, because it's funny to me because there was a imam from the past. You know, I'm not going to knock him. A lot of good things. They brought a lot of Islam, the terminology of Islam and masjids to the forefront. But I heard him trying to discuss verses from the Quran, talking about the verse came down, talking about the hijab, to put on the hijab. And hijab basically mean a brick wall. So what y'all think Allah is saying? Put a brick wall on their head? So they had a whole thing about not covering. But in the Quran, the Arabic actually used the term kimar. It don't say hijab. You know what I'm saying? So with the two ayats, you know, so that let me know then he didn't really understand Arabic. Okay? So it refers to kimars. And there's two, because there was the first ayat that came down where the women basically was taking kimars and they was covering their head like the kuffar, but like you could still see this part of their chest, their cleavage. Like how sometimes you see some of these women, or like some of our grandmothers back in the day, or like some women, they'll just take the scarf and put it around their head and then they'll tie it right here, but you can still see all this. So then the next ayat came down that corrected and said pull that and pull the overgarments, pull them over your bosom. So bring it down to here. It don't use the term hijab. Okay? So due to some confusions, and like I say, man, no knock to him. I'm not trying to bash him, but anybody who looks at the Quran and understand it, you will start to see words like kimar. Okay, so there's a lot of confusion that's being brought in by people who just really didn't understand. You understand? Not even the Arabic that's in the Quran, regardless of what they told other people. You couldn't understand it saying stuff like that. So when you understand certain things is legislated and you acting in accordance with the legislation, people can't pick and choose what they want to consider to be Arab and then non-Arab. Is reading the Quran Arab stuff? You see what I'm saying? It's part of your deen. And I will say this: if right now you was in a Muslim country, how would you dress? How would you dress? You understand? How would you dress? Certain countries, just like for instance when you go to Africa, they have a version of this. It might have a bunch of stripes on it. It might be kente cloth, but it's the exact same thing. It's just not plain color. It's just not a solid black, and it's just not a solid white. Because the solid colors, one color, is to be even more modest. Because let's say, for instance, it had some type of cloth that tied me to a tribe. Then I might be prideful. Then another person might have on a garb that ties them to their tribe. We might see each other as Muslims. Like, let me put it this way. Let's say I'm a Muslim and I walk into a masjid and this look like a red bandana. This whole thing is the red bandana print. And then it's another Muslim who come in and his is an all blue bandana print. Automatically we done tied ourselves to some type of affiliation, and then we might feel a way towards each other. Or we might be on guard for each other. But if his was all black and mine was all black, or they was all white, that wouldn't have been the first thing we seen. The first thing we would have seen was a Muslim brother, not a op. You see what I'm saying? So this is why in certain countries they're one solid color, and then other ones, and that's just a reality, some of their colors tie them to their country. I got this blue, this and that, because I'm from Sierra Leone. And these is just facts. So, and then for the women, solid colors. I'm not trying to be too cute. I'm not trying to be attractive to men. They have that on up under their stuff. A lot of y'all don't know, man. Like they under their undergarments, they not just walking around in bra and panties. At least those with a better understanding. Okay, they under their overgarments, they actually be dressed like the rest of the women. They just cover that up. So I'm going to say yes, but at the same time, if you conducting yourself in a manner where you out there smoking weed, you out there drinking, you still in the bars, you still hanging on the block, and you feel like perhaps wearing your thobe and this and that is going to pull them to the deen, chances are that it's not. It might pull them to be Muslim but not accepting Islam. You see what I'm saying? Muslim is the new cool. Islam is all the praying, the repenting, changing your ways, changing how you carry yourself, conducting yourself like a professional Muslim. See, that's the thing about it. When it comes to Islam, you gotta keep it professional, B. And all I'm saying is, everybody I know that dress like this because of the legislation, they be way better Muslims, bro. They be way better Muslims than the ones who don't. Even for the ones who wear like, hey, this associate me with Islam. This to let you know I'm a proud Muslim, but they don't understand the legislation because they might have on something that's not legislated. Like they might have some tight pants that might be a little see-through-ish. It might hug their calf. It might hug their butt. Then they have like a shirt that like may come to like right here, but it's like it ain't necessarily a thobe, but it come past their waist. And it kind of had that design, short sleeve, this and that. But people might associate them with Islam that don't know no better. Like, oh yeah, you look like a Muslim, but to the Muslims you don't. You just have on a kufi, so they know you Muslim. Other than that, you just look like somebody from Morocco or something. You know what I'm saying? You look like an Egyptian, that like a non-Muslim one. But to people who don't know any better, it looks Muslim to them, and that's alhamdulillah. But some of what they have on isn't legislated. It actually goes against the legislation. And I'm not saying that to anyone, one particular personally, but I'm saying throughout my journeys, I've seen this a lot, especially from a lot of the foreigners. When they come here, they may possibly dress like that because that's their go-between. Technically, I don't look Muslim enough for the white people to hate me, but it's enough for me to say I look Muslim, but really they don't. You see what I'm saying? You know, with the way the pants is and all that. So it's a slippery slope, man. And it all depends on how you gonna carry yourself, how you gonna conduct yourself. But when you conduct yourself and understand the legislations of it, because just not to be funny, and I'm gonna close on this, I'm gonna wrap this up. When you see somebody in a thobe and you see somebody in a kufi, right? Even if they had a kafi on, and you ask them, why do you wear that? If they say, because I'm a Muslim, because I look Muslim, that is a strong possibility they don't understand the legislations. So technically they don't have it on because of the legislation. So they're missing a part of it. And see, these things tie into your niyah, into your ikhlas. It ties into your intentions and your sincerity. Now, yeah, alhamdulillah, they really do want to look Muslim. They do want to represent the deen, but they don't understand the legislations of it. So sometimes they will have on stuff where it may look Muslim to other people, but it goes against the legislations of Islam. Because their pants be too tight. Or you could see through them. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying this because I done seen it. I'll give you a prime example. He was from India, I think, isn't it? His name was like, well, I ain't gonna do that. But anyway, he would have like this pink shirt, sleeves come to right here, but they was wide. It had the little splits on the side, and then it had the little split right here, and then it would come just past his waist. It was like a salmon color, right? Almost looked like a mini thobe type shirt, but it only come past his waist, right? And then he would have on like some all white pants, right? And through the all white pants, you would be able to see through them. Like if he had some socks on, you could see through the pants and see his socks. You know what I'm saying? Like if you even look right here where his like you can see if his boxers had polka dots on them. Not that I was sitting up staring at it, but it was somebody that had said something, and he used to be like that all the time. You could see through his pants. You know what I'm saying? And they was snug. But he felt like, you know, and I would say this, because he would only, for whatever, I know the reasons, but they wouldn't put their kufis on until they pulled up in front of the masjid or they got in it. When he didn't have his kufi on, people didn't think he was Muslim because of those clothes. Because I worked with him at a place called Caterpillar. He was like a manager. You know what I'm saying? He was a bigwig at Caterpillar. And I seen him at work like that sometimes. And wallahi, when he would be in that group with them, he wouldn't salam me or nothing. He'd give me that look like, like don't salam me. And wallahi, it was a couple of times I seen him, I'd drive past, and then he would get away from them, and then he would come find me in the plant and salam me. You know what I'm saying? Wallahi. But he didn't want it to be done around them. So when he took the kufi, people didn't look at him and say, you know what? You look Muslim with them clothes on. But then, and like when he would come in the masjid, he would put the kufi on. Okay, now you look Muslim. But it's because you got this on. It's not the clothes. So like for instance, the way these thobes is, if you run around with the thobe and no kufi on, you're going to look Muslim. So understand, learn what's legislated from Quran and Sunnah. And then look at the Muslims who wear these type of clothes because they understand the legislations, not because it make them look Muslim. And look at their deen, and then compare it to the ones who wear it because it make them look Muslim, and then look at the deen of the ones who don't. And I promise you, you're going to start to be able to see the difference. The ones who don't, they gonna be the ones doing the most talking. And sometimes you don't even know that a person is ignorant until they run their mouth. And you're gonna be like, what is they even talking about? Then the ones who wear because it make them look Muslim, they're gonna be in between that. Sometimes they're gonna have some terminology that's cool, and then they're gonna have some stuff that's more like the people who don't. And I'm not saying this every last person. We just talking about as a majority. But they don't know that they don't know that they're ignorant, because they sit up in a group and talk like this amongst each other. So that there's nobody around to say, you don't know what you're talking about. Just like with me and some people who I've studied with that's trying to grow. When it comes to homework, they don't want to turn their homework and stuff in because they feel like I'm going to tell them that they're wrong. They don't want to be told that they're wrong. And as long as they can sit around people that can't tell them that they're wrong, that's their comfort zone. You see what I'm saying? That's their comfort zone. They don't want to be told that they're wrong. Well, then you don't really want to be right in Islam. You just want to believe what you want to believe. So, and then when you see the ones who understand the legislations of it, not saying they won't have any sins, but they know how to get that up off of them. Their deen be entirely different. And what I believe is, once you start to understand and wear the clothes of a believer, Allah open up a different set of doors for these Muslims as opposed to a door that stays shut to the people who want to walk around in the hellfire all day, to the people who want to make a mockery of what's legislated in Islam. And when you understand the nullifiers of Islam, that's one of the nullifiers of Islam, to make a mockery of some things that came from the deen. You're making fun of it. You cracking jokes about it because you don't know no better. It don't take you out of being Muslim, but it takes you out of the fold of Islam. You understand? Just like you have particular women who make jokes and crack stuff and say little ill-will things because the Muslim brothers can have 4 wives. Cool, alhamdulillah, you could say, you know what, I don't want to be in no marriage like that, I ain't with that, but then that's cool. That's how you feel. But when they go to start saying stuff like, why would Allah do something like that? What if I get to having me for her? Now you making a mockery of what's been legislated. Now you falling into some things that take you out of the fold of Islam. Okay? So some of this stuff right here, and like, just imagine this. You got some Muslims, man, that's really, their whole life is kufr. Their whole entire way of life is kufr. But they'll say something about you and try to make a mockery out of you because you dress like this. But their whole life is kufr. You know what I'm saying? They girl naked, they girl creeping. You know what I'm saying? 1,000,001 type different things. They in the hellfire when they walk around all day, every single day of the week. They in the hellfire with their pants all below their ankles, and these made up, twisted up rulings that they come up with, like they gonna tell Allah. See, let me show you the arrogance. You gonna tell Allah what's real and what's not real in His deen? What He sent a messenger to teach perfectly? And now you gonna argue that and go against that? That's arrogance, B. If Allah, to the point, see, this is what else other people have to understand. Hadiths was compiled during the lifetime of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now there's some athars, right? There's some athars that go past the Rasul, because these is narrations from the companions, right? So there's a difference between those athars and hadiths of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So every aspect of the deen over the 23 years that he had prophethood, hadiths was compiled. So if he was legislating people to pray in certain clothes, to dress in certain clothes, had he been wrong what he was teaching, Allah Azza wa Jal would have admonished him in the Quran. There was no admonishment for it. There was no admonishment for it. And then for all the people who want to say, well, hadiths came 400 years later and all this other stuff, they don't know what they're talking about. They don't know what they're talking about. You know what I'm saying? Clearly when they sit up and say, Aisha said, the Prophet told me this. What was she alive 400 years after the Rasul? Umar told me that when him and the Prophet was sitting together, that the Prophet said this and that. We went and asked the Prophet, what did you say this and that about Umar? He told us this. What, that happened 400 years after him? They don't understand, man. So all I'm going to say is, I'm going to rock it. I know how I changed once I put it on. And I'm going to keep it Dougie with you. Because my heart pumped Kool-Aid in the beginning, where I didn't walk around in it. I was talking to a Muslim, and he was telling me, like, on my days off, I like to just throw my thobe on and relax around the crib. You know what I'm saying? You know, chill around the crib in a thobe. So I ended up ordering some. Like, yeah, you know, when I'm in the crib or when I'm praying, I'm going to pray in my thobe, because I wasn't praying in no thobe or nothing. And I remember when I got my first the kameez, the real big shirt and the pants. And I remember I threw it on and I sat back in the recliner to read the sealed nectar. I felt Muslim as ever. But I didn't understand the legislation of the clothes. To me, this helped me look like a Muslim. But when I started to understand the legislation, even when I go to work, the clothes that I wear, they're still legislated. And my pants is not in the hellfire. That's the part that people need to get. Oh, we could dress like this, woo out the woo, although they trying to imitate the kuffar. And, you know, they say things about an Arab. I didn't get this from an Arab. You understand what I'm saying? I didn't start doing this because I seen Arabs doing it. To be honest with you, when I see Arabs in my face, they're trying to hide their Islam. Now you imagine that. Some Arabs come to this country, and in order to hide their Islam, they dress like you. And then I look at some of these individuals and saying, that's why you won't wear the thobe, because you want to hide your Islam. That's why they do it. Oh, I'm a doctor. People won't come to my practice if I'm in thobes and scare off the people. They think I'm a terrorist. You understand? That's the exact reason why a lot of them doing it, or the people who taught them to do it. But when I learned the legislations of how to be covered, I was on my way, Jack. But I was able to take them first steps first. I wanted to sit back and read the sealed nectar. Know what I'm saying? This was in like 2001, 2002. I wanted to kick back and read the sealed nectar, Jack. I wanted to get on the prayer rug and do what I do. I used to be a cologne fanatic. Back in them days when Curve first came out, your Michael Jordan colognes and all that, I was a cologne fanatic. I used to travel out of town to different malls just to buy cologne. Once I got them Muslim oils and started rocking with that after them different Muslim oils, all that I never wanted to put cologne on again. I wear oils, B. Know what I'm saying? And like I said, when you take one step towards what Allah legislates, the door can open up. A lot of these people, they don't realize, they don't even have the wherewithal to know that they going against what Allah legislated. And then the unfortunate thing is to make a mockery of the deen and say, you're just trying to be Arab. You know what I'm saying? They don't know they making a mockery of the deen. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say yes. But if you still out there in that habitat, be careful how you conducting yourself. Because like I say, if you don't have this on and people just looking at you that know you and be like, oh man, that dude just a fake Muslim. He want people to believe that he Muslim. You making yourself look bad. But if you running around with this on and that's what the people say about you and they serious, they not just hating on you, now you making Islam look bad. You see what I'm saying? Now you making Islam look bad. So there's a difference. If you're going to make yourself look bad, do it for you. And that's why I say a lot of these people, man, I don't even try to encourage it. They don't represent, you don't, they reputate, their representation of Islam is doodle buns. What I'm going to encourage them to put a thobe and kufi on for? You know what I'm saying? Why would I discuss, it be one brother, man, you know, I guess they feel like it's the grunge look, man, like, there's certain hadiths, man, where Muslims carried it a certain type of way and the Rasul would roll up on them like, hey, man, clean yourself up, man. Have you not made use of the comb? Do you know how to comb your hair, man? Fix yourself up, man. You look, you know, real talk. Rasul would roll up on individuals and tell them take a bath, man. You look dirty. You know what I'm saying? You Muslim, man. Go take a bath. Man, it be this one brother, man. I be seeing him, man. He be having on a t-shirt and little jeans, man. Got a big belly on him. All this, a whole front of his whole t-shirt be super duper dirty. Like he been working on cars doing like this. He be having mustard and barbecue sauce, food stains all on his clothes, man. Like, come on, baby, man. You represent the Muslims, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Every time I see him, he be all out in public, man, with the gang members. Big, super duper dirty white t-shirt. Come on, man. Get yourself together, man. They think you Muslim, man. Like the Rasul used to roll them. Come on, man. You looking like a najis, man. And one thing about these here, baby, you don't look najis in one of these. So that's my advice, man. I say yes. And then I say go and learn what's legislated about it. Not I just want to look like a Muslim. I just want to fit in with the Muslims. What's legislated about it? Because like I said, you can have just like with the women, they can have their head covered up, right? But then have on a super snug shirt where their breasts is all out, some super duper tight jeans. You know what I'm saying? A mini skirt right here, all this much of their arms all out, no t-shirt that only come to right here. You know what I'm saying? But they got a head covering on, talking about that's hijab. No, it's not. Brothers can do the same thing. They can look the same way in their clothes, even if it has an African, Egyptian, Moroccan look to it. But they have on a kufi. People associating them with Islam because they have on a kufi. They think people associating them with Islam because of the clothes they have on. Just like how I say, I seen one brother, he let these people trick him into all that stuff is Arab and this and that. So he started buying dashikis, but not the lone dashikis, the only dashikis that come right here. You trying to affiliate yourself with something that look African, bruh. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But people don't look at you and see Muslim. They look at you and say, okay, the brother trying to be African. Unless he had one of these on. But in his head, this is my way of looking Muslim without looking Muslim. With tight jeans and stuff on. You know, one of them Baltimore type of little dashikis that come to like right here. B, that's not legislated. You look exactly like the female with a head covering on and super tight clothes, breasts and everything still. You look exact. You the male version of that. But they don't know it because in their head, this is something that make you look Muslim, not what's legislated, because they don't understand the legislations. So go and look and find out what's legislated first. That way you can be up on some hawk. And once you understand that and understand them doors will open up for you from Allah Azza wa Jal as opposed to being closed, you're gonna grow in this deen, bismillah ta'ala. So that's my answer. It's a long answer, but that's what I say for that, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.